Hey everyone, how are you doing? I'm a bit nervous actually about doing this video because I just wanted to come here and talk. Yeah, you might think, well, this is what you always do. You come in front of a camera and you talk, but today I wanted to talk about my fears as a designer. Talking about something this personal ties in with many aspects in my career, so I have to give you context about what I mean when I talk about this. I'm gonna try to do it in the best, easiest way. Throughout my career, I've had three big areas, three big fears that have always kind of constrained myself. It's something that it has taken me a long time to realize. I knew they were there, but I wasn't able to name them and to kind of pinpoint what that was. And to be honest, no one has put these fears on me. It has always been myself who has put these limits on what I could do and where I could do it. So yeah, talking about this feels really personal because it's a type of pressure that I have always put on myself without anyone else affecting it. And when I talk about fears, I talk about things that I've always thought had to be in a certain way for me to succeed. So just to give you a bit of context, when I finished my bachelor's degree here in Barcelona, I decided to move to London to study a master's degree. And when I finished that master's degree, I got hired by this amazing company where I worked for 4 years. And after that, just right in the middle of the pandemic in October 2020, I decided to quit my job and go freelance. And that is what I have been doing since then. So because the start of my career was very tied with the fact that I was living in London, moving out or going to a different city or coming back to Barcelona was always taking a step back. And that is my first fear, location. So for 6 years, I was afraid of going back home because it would mean that I would have to leave that life behind. And every time I thought about coming back to Barcelona, it was like, no. I can't do that because if I go back home, it will be going back. I won't have a job, I won't be able to work. And it wasn't just London, it was more that my success was tied very closely to the location that I was living. So the only step forward would be to move to a city with like a huge amount of companies, something like New York or any city in the US or Amsterdam or Berlin or something with a big technological environment, put it that way. So moving back to Barcelona or moving to a different city that wasn't in my list of ideal cities would always have been taking a step back. And you might think, well, you're now in Barcelona, what are you doing here? Thanks to COVID, I realized that that wasn't actually true. If COVID hadn't happened, I don't think I would be in this place. I don't think I would have come back to Barcelona. I would probably have moved to a different city. So in a way, COVID helped me. And I would say that fear of having to be in a specific location in order to have a good job or have the career that I want, I would say it's no longer there. So yeah. The second one has always been my experience and the fact that I didn't study to be a designer. That endless loop of I don't have enough experience, but no one's giving me the job to actually get that experience, so I will never get that experience. So I was caught in that loop for a very long time. And then there is the fact that I've always felt like an imposter, and it's okay now, but for a while I had like a very severe case of imposter syndrome. And it's not a fact of low confidence. I think I read a while ago that there is a big difference between someone with low confidence and someone who feels like an imposter. Someone with low confidence will work very hard, will try to achieve their goal, and when they get there, they will be happy for themselves, they will be satisfied. Someone who feels like an imposter, and that is my case, will work the same or even harder and will push themselves until they get to their goal. And once they achieve their goal, they will underestimate their success, saying it's just luck, they were at the right place at the right time, and it has nothing to do with their effort. And the problem with that is not only that pressure you put on yourself, but it is that it is very difficult to change your point of view, or at least for me, it took a long time, long conversations with people who felt the same, and long lists of my accomplishments to realize that my successes have nothing to do with luck, or luck is just a very tiny percentage of having accomplished something. That was like my second fear, that I didn't have enough experience to do the project or to do the role that I wanted to do, or even to become a freelance. Like that was my big fear when I went freelance, that I didn't have enough experience, that I had never done the type of project that I wanted to work on. So I had to create a different path for myself than the one that I initially had. So it's like, yeah, experience has always played a big role in my life, but yeah, it is a big thing. And the third one, and I will probably say this has always been my biggest fear or my biggest constraint when working, is the job title. I hate job titles. I hate tags. I hate being classified into a specific column. But when you work in a company, that title kind of defines your level, it defines your salary, it defines who you are within a big group of people, so you can't really change that. I have never felt comfortable with my title or any job title. I started being a UX designer, at some point I was a product designer. It was even discussed to be a technical artist at some point, and now I just call myself designer. I keep it open on purpose because for me, it stresses that I can do so many things. I'm not just a UX designer, I'm not just a visual designer or a product designer. I can do so many other things, but when you work in a cosmos of companies and designers and people, these tags kind of define who you are. I have never felt comfortable constraining myself to a word or letting a title decide what I can and can't do. And actually, one thing that I've changed lately is that I never say, or I try not to say, I'm a designer. I say I work as a designer, because I don't want that job, that title to define who I am and what my skills are. As I am nowadays, and this is something that I'm very proud of to have accomplished, is that these three fears, my location, where I live, my level of expertise or experience, and my job title, are no longer limiting my capabilities, my abilities, my skills, and they don't constrain me. And this is something very important for me to feel comfortable on my daily life. When it comes to location, I can consider moving somewhere else, to a different city, to a tiny town, and I will be able to continue doing what I do and continue my career. When it comes to my experience, this is something that I just can continue do, and I know now that the job that I do and my work is good, and I can keep getting hired by companies that I love because I know what I do and I'm good at what I do. And in terms of job title, I will continue saying I'm just a designer, and within that umbrella I can fit in so many things that I want to learn or that I want to do, so I won't be constrained by a word. So yeah, if you've gotten this far, thank you so much. I hope it wasn't too boring. The only thing I can say is that if you find yourself in this position, if you have this type of problems or fears, I really encourage you to talk to others, because it really helps to share it with other people around you, or actually people you don't really know. Just talk about your stuff. It's really helpful, and it will make you realize you're not the only one with this type of problems. We tend to share these kind of concerns with others, and that's really helpful. I know this is a bit of a weird video because it's just me talking about my stuff that might be a bit out of context, but this YouTube channel for me is a space of expression, and you will find out that I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't have many expectations, but I really like to sit down here, talk to you if you're listening, and talk about my life and things that I think others might find useful. So If you like these videos, if you want me to talk about a specific thing, about my career, about how I got here, about how it is to be a freelance or anything, just let me know down below and I'll be more than glad to share it with you. I'm very open and I really like to talk about this type of subjects. But for the moment, thank you so much for listening and thank you so much for being here. I'll see you next time.